Okay, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We got another one. The first thing we're going to talk about is Alex versus Yuri. A lot happened Saturday night, but this one right here was absolutely crazy. It's a whole lot of different aspects to this.
The first thing that comes to mind is something nobody talks about. It looks like Yuri had some ring rust. Nobody's talking about this.
And not to cut you off, but he was the one online talking all this crap the whole time. Because before the Alex fight, he was talking about he was going to do this and that to Jamal. So at the end of the day, if you know you got ring rust, stop talking. But anyway, what you were saying.
But you have to, when you're an emotional fighter, you're a knockout guy, sometimes you have to talk noise to hype yourself up. And the way he fights, he can kind of get away with that because he goes all in. He fights like a warrior. The thing is, it's kind of hard to say, was it more ring rust or did he get kind of exposed from Alex? That's why I say it's 50-50 because he looked a little bit slower, man. His movement was a little bit slow, but at the same time, his approach wasn't the best because he was trying to land a Hail Mary right hand. And it was clear as day. If he landed, the fight definitely was going to be over. But he was fighting against Alex, who had seen it a million times before in his fighting career. Against anybody else, maybe Yuri would have landed that right hand, but it was clear as day. That's what he was trying to do.
The thing is, so you said it could have been ring rust, and you said it could have been him getting exposed by Alex.
And it could have been the third one, like you said, his chin.
And that's what I'm about to say. When we did the preview video for this, I told you in every fight, Yuri gets dropped and he out-chins his opponent. He out-chinned Dominic Reyes. He out-chinned Glover. He survived against Volkan. He has been hurt in every fight. That's why I didn't think he could beat Jamal Hill, because Jamal don't even get touched like that. And Yuri literally just tries to walk through punches. A lot of fighters get tired trying to punch somebody out and they don't go down. Or you drop them and then they always find a way to survive. It could tire you out. That's what happened to Dominic Reyes. But realistically, Dominic probably should have won that fight.
Yeah.
Realistically, Glover should have won that fight. That's the honest truth. This is what I was telling you. Yuri's chin was going to catch up to him. I didn't know if Alex was going to be the one to be able to do it. I thought maybe Jamal. But to me, I always think about Yuri's chin. How long can it hold up? You can't try to survive all these people punches, man. And now my thing is, now that you've been knocked out, it was a good stoppage. People online talking about it was an early stoppage. And no, it was not an early stoppage, man. That man went out clear as day. He was out. And even before he said it, because now they're like, oh, well, he admitted he was out. He didn't have to. He was out. It was over.
It was a little bit of an early stop.
Bro, the man went to sleep falling back on his head.
But you gotta look at how they respond, like how they stand up.
You can't go to sleep with a man on top of you punching you in your face and act like that didn't happen.
I just hate that some of the people who are Yuri's fans, they say he's been hurt before in other fight when he came back and won. You can't keep relying on that, man. That's not no good argument. Your argument is he's been hurt before and he came back and won. That's true, but at the same time, fighters are supposed to deliver damage and take the least amount of damage at the same time.
Yeah, you're supposed to try to inflict the most amount of damage while receiving the least amount of damage.
But I'm gonna tell you this, in our preview video we made before the fight, I said something about Alex. I said Alex, sometimes he can be a little bit inactive. And it looked like to me, some people say Yuri won the first round. I thought Alex won the first round from the leg kicks. Because you don't take somebody down and not do nothing and think you won that round.
Meanwhile, you was getting kicked in the leg and falling all over the place.
Yeah, exactly, all over the place. Look like you drunk. But at the same time, yeah, the drunken master. But at the same time,
Rock Lee.
Yeah. But at the same time, in the second round, Yuri started to take over a little bit, and then Alex became a little bit inactive. That's why I said against certain fights, like against Bruno Silva, sometimes he was a little bit too defensive. And it looked like Yuri was started to win, even though Alex ended up winning. That's the only thing that matters. But against other opponents, they might be able to capitalize on that. But at the same time, it also looked like he learned from the Izzy fight too, man.
You know what, speaking of Izzy, is it ironic that he knocked out Yuri the same way that Izzy knocked him out?
Yeah.
That same counter. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Except for it was a shorter right hand, not an overhand, but still, I'm looking like...
Yeah. So it was a right-left. Izzy did left-right.
Yeah. But I'm saying it was like a similar combo where he kind of leaned back and then caught him, and I'm like...
It was almost, I'm not going to say it was perfect. Other than him being a little bit inactive, it almost was perfect, to be honest. Because he was patient, he broke him down. Alex was able to weather the storm. He was able to weather the onslaught. But at the same time, he was able to get Yuri to come in and counter him. So it was almost like a perfect
And Yuri, the thing is, Yuri, as good as he has been, because he has a successful career. His record is fantastic. Make no mistake about it. The big weakness for Yuri is, again, you can't rely on durability and have a long career. If he had came back and fought Jamal that night, he would have got destroyed. Jamal Hill had did like a motion putting the crown on his head, and he said, we all know where the crown belongs, or something of that nature. And people were saying, oh, well, Jamal, you won the belt because Yuri gave it up and stuff. he still won the belt. He had to fight to win the belt at the end of the day. And the same opponent that they had, that people were saying, well, you be the old man, that's who Yuri beat too. And Glover actually embarrassed you. Make no mistake about it, Yuri won, but Glover embarrassed him. And he just embarrassed himself more by losing the fight that he should have won in every round. So now we got to look at possibly Jamal versus Alex Pereira, which I think is very interesting.
And also, I'm glad you said that, because I feel like Alex achieved as much as he can achieve. You know, because he's not going up to heavyweight, man. That ain't gonna happen.
Well, you said that in the last video. You said that he could be a 3-time.
Yeah, but not now though. After what we just saw with Tom,
which we'll talk about.
That's two big boys. It's weight classes for a reason. I think Alex achieved everything that he wanted to achieve, and he overachieved actually. And I think Jamal Hill, he might feel like he has a lot more left in his tank. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Jamal Hill might feel like
he was just getting started as champion.
Yeah, so I feel like Jamal Hill might be a little bit more hungry, and Alex is, I'm not saying that he's tired and he's ready to give the belt away or whatever. I'm just saying that it looks like Jamal Hill has a lot more left to prove to the world.
And now we got to have a conversation about Alex being an all-time GOAT. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And when I ask this question, this is not to take away from anything that anybody else has accomplished. Because people like to play this game where just because only one person can win the fight, logically we can't say, if we say that person A is now in this pool of being the greatest of all time, does that mean Izzy's not in the pool? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's what MMA fans think like that. And that's one thing I don't like. Well, if we're going to say person A is great, that means person B must have never really been that good. No. Izzy has accomplished a lot and done a lot of things.
But Izzy said something powerful, and he said that a lot of middleweights should be happy that he beat Alex because he was able to move Alex to a different weight class. And Izzy implied that if it wasn't for that, a lot of people would get knocked out by Alex if Alex was middleweight champion. So Izzy made a great point when he said that. It's not like Alex didn't already beat Sean Strickland before.
And he knocked him out easily in one round. And truth be told, I don't think it'll be a different result in another fight.
It might end like a round later.
Maybe, but it would definitely be a similar result. But this is what I was about to say. Alex has put himself in rarefied air. And now we can say he greatness personified because look at what he did in kickboxing. 2 weight class champion. And then for him to come over to MMA and do the same thing what you about to say?
And then people gonna say the weight classes were thin, but whose fault is that? The light heavyweight division was thin. So we've been saying the Anthony Smith and some of these guys
step up and
take advantage of the situation.
And you got people who should have been winning and they losing. He can't control that.
And he has an opportunity though to fight against Jamal Hill. They really can find out who the best light heavyweight is.
And it's like everything might come around full circle.
Exactly.
To some degree. But the reality is kickboxers struggle in MMA. Let's be honest. A lot of times they don't get to go on and have successful careers in MMA because they just can't stop the takedowns. They can't stop takedowns even if they don't get finished. If they're good enough to not get finished, they still just on their back for 3 rounds. Right. Or they normally get submitted or something of that nature. But Alex was able to go and have a successful career as a kickboxer in MMA.
And he also had a lot of luck too.
Because the middleweight division historically has been ruled by strikers.
And he fought Izzy before, he beat Izzy before, and on top of that...
Is he the luckiest fighter ever?
And on top of that, he was able to get a fast title shot. And on top of that, he fought Sean Strickland, who he was a bad matchup for. And on top of that, his training partner was somebody who prepared him at the highest level.
And speaking of highest level, and on top of that, he fought Jan in altitude and won a split decision. That fight probably could have been a draw.
Jan, man, you got to keep quiet right now.
Speaking of Jan, that's who Yuri might be fighting next, realistically. And that made me think that if his chin got cracked, it never gets better from here. I think that if Jan and Yuri fight, the Polish power gonna land.
I mean, Jan is good for 1 round. If Yuri can get past that first round, he's good. He can do whatever he wants to Dion.
But the reality is, we got to start looking at how good Alex is all time. I don't know where that goes, man. I don't know how far that conversation can go. I'm not saying who he's ranked above or not, but he definitely in the conversation. As a combat athlete, Henry Cejudo won the Olympics and he was, considered by most people to be better than DJ, which was crazy.
It's almost like no matter what Alex achieved, people always will
see him as just a kickboxer from glory.
No, it's like he won't get the praise that he deserves for some reason. Some fighters, it take years for them to get the respect from the fans. I don't know why it's like that. Probably because he got a title shot kind of quick. And it's funny, that's the pros and cons of getting these quick title shots because, you was able to get a title shot, but at the same time, you still haven't really earned people respect.
But it's funny because all the people who he would have had to fight to get a title fight can't get a title fight.